Hello and welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we will be discussing 3 questions related to GS paper 3 which appeared in 2022. Okay. Uh, this is GS paper 3 2022. So my request would be that you please try to write the answer on the basis of what we are discussing here. And once you have written the answer, if you need to compare it with the model answer, please let us know. We will be posting it. Okay. So let us begin with the first question here. The first question says that, do you think India will meet 50% of its energy needs from renewable energy by 2030? Okay. So are we positive about meeting 50% of the energy needs? Okay. And the target year being 2030. This energy should be renewable energy. So the positive aspects and the negative aspects, the challenges and the potentials that we need to discuss. We need to justify the answer. Why do we think that this is achievable objectives, or what are the problems here? And it also says that how will the shift of subsidies from fossil fuels? So we know that the government has been giving subsidies related to food, fertilizer and fuel. So 3 Fs were the largest amount of subsidies almost 5 years back, which was provided 10 years back, which was provided to the people. Okay. So slowly and slowly, food we are still continuing. Okay. Under public distribution system, food we are still continuing. Uh, Fuel we have reduced, or rather removed. We have deregulated the subsidies associated with either diesel or with petrol. Okay. So and fertilizer is also provided under the subsidies part. Okay. So food, fertilizer and fuel we have deregulated. So the question is asking, how will the shift of subsidies from fossil fuels? So till now we have been providing subsidies related to fossil fuel, but now the subsidies are shifting towards the renewables. Okay. So it is asking how will the shift of subsidy from fossil fuel to renewables achieve the above objective. Okay. So with respect to renewable energy, where are we providing subsidies? We are providing subsidies in solar energy, in wind energy installation, land, availability of land. So government is undertaking subsidies in easy availability of generation of solar energy or generation of wind energy. Okay. So what shall be the introduction? Introduction may we need to first of all explain what is renewable energy. Okay. Any energy whose source is renewable will be known as the renewable energy. Okay. So because for the source for solar or wind, for this it is sun, for wind energy it is wind itself, for geothermal it is geothermal potential. Okay. We also have ocean energy, tidal energy. These are all examples of renewable energy. Okay. So even biomass, these are all examples of renewable energy. So all these areas where we are working, and that you had to explain. So explain what is a renewable energy, plus we need to show some statistical data here. It can be any current affairs related pointer that you can add, or with respect to wind energy, India is the 4th largest generator in the world. That also you can add here. Okay. With respect to statistical data or anything related to current affairs, if we add, it makes, or it rather informs the examiner that the candidate is knowing about the topic which is being asked. Okay. So that shall be the introduction. With after writing introduction, leave a line and then switch to the next paragraph, which is the body. Okay. In the body, we had to explain why do we think, why are we positive, why are we hopeful that we will be able to achieve this objective. Because government has come up with schemes such as PM Kusum, wherein the farmers are provided with cheaper solar photovoltaics, and they are asked to generate energy, use that energy for irrigation purpose. Whatever extra energy is being generated, that they need to transfer to grid. Okay. So grid connectivity is required here, but that is the scheme. Okay. Plus solar wind hybrid policy. This policy may the same piece of land is being used for solar photovoltaics also. Solar photovoltaics will be installed for generation of solar energy, and that same piece of land will also be used for wind energy. So windmills will also be installed in that same piece of land. Okay, that is solar wind hybrid policy. Plus we also have a green hydrogen policy. Green hydrogen refers to any form of hydrogen which is generated by renewable resources. Okay, so water is split into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, and this splitting is done through electricity. If this electricity is generated from a renewable resource, we are calling this such hydrogen as the green hydrogen. So government of India undertook green hydrogen policy in 2021 itself. Okay, shifting towards the renewable energy. It's a very clean source of energy. Okay, plus we also have a biofuel policy. Okay, wherein we are promoting the generation of biogas and through bagasse based biogas generation. Okay, and we can also mention about geothermal potential, wherein the examples can be mentioned related to Tatapani or Manikaran. So these are all the areas wherein we have geothermal potential. After writing these positive aspects, wherein we are expecting India to reach 50% of the cumulative renewable capacity by 2030 itself, this is the positive, this is the potential that we can achieve. But the challenges should also be discussed here. Why do we think that what all the problems we will be facing or the government will be facing? So under the challenges, we need to write about the cost of solar photovoltaics, the cost associated, rather the input cost associated to anything is quite high. It is also very costly with respect to solar PV. It is also very costly with respect to windmills. Okay. Similarly, wind energy generation maybe offshore is very costly as compared to onshore. And onshore maybe do not have land, so obviously we will have to shift towards offshore. Plus offshore wind energy has a greater energy generation potential, so ultimately this is a better option, but it is very costly. Similarly, solar photovoltaics is also very costly. uh, Another challenge is related to land. So with respect to land availability for installation of solar photovoltaics or the installation of windmill is also a problem. That is why the government came up with solar wind hybrid policy. That same piece of land to be used for solar energy as well as wind energy. And another challenge that can be mentioned here is the grid connectivity. So all the solar energy, wind energy that we are generating, it must be put up on grid. And that grid connectivity with respect to either solar energy or wind energy is very poor as of now. So this is another big challenge. Plus, another problem is related to storage. So whatever energy is being generated out of solar energy or wind energy, there is a problem in storage. That is why we are facing problem in implementation of this scheme also, because the farmers are asked to generate energy. After generating energy, they are asked to put up on grid. Okay, now they do not have grid connectivity, they do not have storage facilities. So what do they do with the extra energy that is being generated? So they do not opt for solar photovoltaics. So we need to work upon these two factors. Okay, we also need to work upon the funding part. So currently funds are a very big problem in the renewable sector, and the root cause for the funding is the tariff policy. So government's tariff policy is such that uh, energy that is consumed by the consumer, it is made very cheap, it is subsidized. Now because the energy is subsidized, that extra money that whatever government has to get, okay, they are overcharging on the they are asking the generator to reduce the charges. Now the generator cannot reduce the charges because that is the remunerative price. Whatever they are generating, at least the minimum they should be getting out of it, right? So right now they are not getting that part, that fund, and that is why funding is a very big problem in renewable sector. Okay. So that was all with respect to body. Within body, we also had to explain the other half of the question, which was do you think that this shift in subsidy will solve the problem? So if we are shifting the subsidies, it should be shifted to solve these challenges, then we will be able to solve the problem. Okay. So that is how we had to present the body in pointers separating why positive and why challenges. And what are the challenges? Okay. With that, we will move towards the conclusion part. The conclusion says that basically you had to summarize the, in any conclusion, what we have to do is basically summarize the entire answer. So if these are the challenges, these are the potentials. This is the reason why we think it is achievable. These are the challenges we need to work upon then. So ultimately, government needs to step up the efforts in right direction. If it is able to do so, we will be able to achieve the potential. With that, we can simply conclude the answer. Okay. Now let us move towards the next question. The second question here says that discuss global warming and mention its effect on the global climate. Explain the control measures to bring down the level of greenhouse gases which cause global warming in the light of the Kyoto Protocol. Okay. So here in introduction, we basically had to mention about global warming because that was the question. So we had to define what is global warming. Global warming is the annual increase in temperature, overall increase in the global temperature for a consistent period of time. That is global warming. So here again we can write about facts with respect to temperature global warming, or you can also write about the IPCC reports. IPCC AR6 has come up, we can write about AR6 reports also. Okay. So with respect to fact, I can give this information that we are currently, with respect to the pre-industrial level, we are currently facing an increase of 1.1 degree centigrade. Okay. And IPCC report 6, AR6 says that we are soon, very soon we will be breaching this 1.5 degree target. Okay. So that we can mention about the fact about rise in temperature. Plus, to overcome these problems, we came up with the Kyoto Protocol. In Kyoto Protocol, we have put up 6 gases that includes methane, carbon dioxide, dinitrogen oxide, SF6 sulfur hexafluoride, PFC perfluorocarbon, and HFC, this is hydrofluorocarbon. So these 6 gases were discussed in the first Kyoto Protocol, which had put up these gases and asked Annex 1 and Annex 2 countries. So it has basically asked the developed countries to undertake measures to control the release of or emission of these gases. Okay. So that was the Kyoto Protocol and its gases. So that these information we need to put up by using the connectors. Okay. Then we can move towards the body. In question they were asking about the effects and the control measures that are being undertaken to control the global warming. So the effects of global warming on climate can be, first of all, frequency. Frequency in occurrence of extremities such as droughts or floods or cyclones. This has increased. Okay. Plus, because of increased global warming, the intensity of weather phenomenon. So, extreme summers, extreme winters, extreme rainy season, this has also increased. Okay. Intensity of the weather phenomenon has also increased. Occurrence of events such as El Nino or Indian Ocean dipole or Atlantic meridional oscillations, they have also increased. Okay. Plus, we have witnessed snowfalls in regions such as deserts, such as Thar Desert. We are witnessing snowfalls in these desert areas also. And changes in ocean pattern, for example, sea level rise or flow of currents. These have all changed because of global warming. So we can discuss about the effects of global warming. Now, what are the control measures that we have taken? The first control measure that we undertook under Kyoto itself was Kyoto mechanisms such as joint implementation, wherein we are calling to developed countries that you keep a binding target. If one country exceeds the target, the other one will have development of carbon sink, or we are also undertaking mitigation efforts. Okay. So mitigation efforts can be any effort wherein afforestation, we are trying to reach back the original levels of global temperatures. So such efforts we can put under mitigation efforts. Okay. And last part, that is the conclusion part, we can conclude by discussing about the climate clock, which mentions about, let's say, 5 years, 6 years left, wherein we are about to breach the 1.5 degree target, or we can discuss any reports such as IPCC AR6. Okay. So by that we can summarize this answer. As of now, we will conclude this part. We will continue our discussions of the previous papers. Again, my request would be, please try to write these answers, and if you need the model answer, do let us know about it. Okay, thank you so much and all the very best.